Big Moon Tortilla, written by Joy Cowley and illustrated by Dyanne Strongbow. This is the title page. The title is again Big Moon Tortilla. The author is Joy Cowley and the illustrator is Dyanne Strongbow. By the time Marta Inus had finished her homework, the sky was orange with sunset, and a fussing wind was blowing across the desert. Marta Inus opened her window and looked outside. In the cookhouse, Grandmother was making tortillas for the church supper. She slapped them into large circles and tossed them onto the iron plate over the mesquite fire. Grandmother's Big Moon tortillas were the best in the world. The head of Marta Inus was filled with the knowing of fresh tortillas. Oh, that sweet, crisp, little bit burnt smell. It went to Marta's stomach, which rumbled and growled, and then on down to her feet, making her toes twitch toward the cookhouse. The legs of Marta Inus would not wait another minute. They were in such a hurry to run to the cookhouse that they knocked over Marta's table, and that is when a disaster happened. The homework papers, with their neat writings and beautiful drawings, went out the window and onto the breath of the fussing wind. The wind huffed the papers high into the air. Then, with a little cough, it spread them over the village. The legs of Marta Inus were sorry for their mistake, and they ran out to chase the homework papers, which slipped and slid like kites without string. But the dogs, too, were chasing. Leaping into the air, they barked to each other, "Again! Again!" In no time at all, the beautiful homework papers were torn and chewed into trash. The second disaster happened when Marta tried to pull a page away from a puppy. Her glasses fell off, and she stepped on them. One arm of her glasses broke in half. She did not smell tortillas anymore. Her head was filled up to her eyes with grief and tears as hot as chili peppers. Ruined homework, broken glasses. Marta Inus ran to her grandmother. Grandmother left her tortillas and sat down, as big as a bed and warm from the cooking. As she smoothed Marta's hair with her floured hands, she said, "Hush, hush. If you cry so much, you'll put out the fire." "The dogs ate my homework and I can't see to do any more," Marta sobbed. Grandmother rocked her. "Little problems," she said. "Too small for a big rainstorm. We'll repair your eyeglasses." But the tears of Marta Inus still ran through her eyes and nose and made hiccups in her throat. So Grandmother sang to her an old healing song, and with the healing song there was a story. When we have a problem, we must choose what we will be. Sometimes it is good to be a tree, to stand up tall in the desert and look all ways at once. Sometimes it is best to be a rock, to sit very still, seeing nothing and saying nothing. Sometimes when you have a problem, you have to be a strong mountain lion, fierce and ready to fight for what is right. Sometimes the wisest thing is to be an eagle and fly. When the eagle is high up, it sees how small the earth is. It sees how small the problem is, and it laughs and laughs. What do you think that Marta should be? Grandmother wound some tape around the arm of the glasses. She put the glasses back on the nose and ears of Marta Inus. "That should be okay until we get them fixed," she said. "Now, one tortilla before supper." Grandmother pinched a ball of dough and slapped it between her hands. Flip-flap, flip-flap, flip-flap. When it was as big and pale as a rising full moon, she dropped it onto the iron plate above the red-hot coals of the fire. Ah, the smell as the tortilla bubbled and browned. "I have decided," said Marta Inus, her legs doing a tortilla dance. "I am going to be the eagle. Grandmother nodded. "That is very wise," she said, turning the tortilla over. "Fly high and laugh. Then come back and do your homework." The author, Joy Cowley, wrote a note at the end of the book that says, "I shall never forget the time I spent on a Tohono O'odham Papago reservation in southern Arizona near the Mexican border. This story is set in one of the small villages there. Grandmother's words of advice come from an old Native American saying, which varies slightly among the different tribes of the southern states. Like Mardo Innos, perhaps you will remember grandmother's advice the next time you have a problem."